Hello, everybody, and I'm so excited. We actually have a very special second Compliance Corner update for you today for Friday, October 9th. And here's the cool thing we just had open houses open up for us. So I'm here with my wonderful friend, John Hanson. He's going to tell us all about the next steps that we have in best practices for open houses. How are you doing today, John?
Great, thank you.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, so let's get back into it. We do have still some restrictions and guidelines for open houses. So this came from the Washington Association of Realtors, and we thought we'd review these for you. So first, in phase two counties, no more than 5 people plus the broker may be in the property at any one time. So this goes along the line of another direction we have, right, John?
Well, yeah, and so we also are allowed to have 5 people in the house for showings, but that one is 5 people, including the broker, and this one is 5 people plus the broker. So for open houses, but yeah, very similar thing. And this is so. So the thing to remember for open houses is not to get so excited and think I can just go willy-nilly having open houses. It's got to be intentional and direct. So we're having set up a system whereby you can enter in the open house you're going to do and get the instructions and things at that time.
Okay, great. And the next one says brokers must strictly adhere to the occupancy restrictions for open house. So that's basically what we just said. They've got to strictly adhere to that.
Yeah, the agent's going to be responsible for it. So the agent's going to have to. It's suggested that 2 agents do an open house, so that if there are 5 people and someone can be monitoring the door and making sure no one else comes in.
Yeah.
Until somebody else leaves. Kind of like what Trader Joe's does.
Yeah, I got it. I think what I'll do is let me just post all these best practices then here, John. I think this might be we can go point by point, but these are some of the things you were just talking about. So the following are best practices you should follow to ensure compliance. So number 1, post signs at the property, on open house signs at the front door inside the property, alerting the public to the occupancy restrictions and reminding the public to wear face coverings and social distancing. Now, at the Federal Way office, you were just telling me that you guys are developing a really great procedure for this using the front desk, right? Can you talk to us about that a little bit?
Right. Well, the way this should be coming out today, I believe, is that there should be a place where, on our intranet site where you can basically sign up to do an open house. So that we have that as a firm, we're responsible for recording where the open houses are taking place and when, what the hours are. And then at that same time, there will be information provided for you to, for example, get the signage that you need to use at the open house. So the only thing you might have to do extra is have those masks, available at the open house, so that if somebody doesn't have a mask, you'll have it for them.
I love that. That's so brilliant. And so guys who are from Mountains to Sound, hang tight. We'll get that also set up in our market center, but I think that's fantastic for Federal Way. Next one, brokers need to carefully monitor the number of persons on site at any one time and not admit more than allowed number of persons to the property, right? So
Yeah,
we're saying
we're responsible for it.
They're responsible for it. Brokers need to constantly monitor the front door, potentially lock the door from time to time to prohibit additional persons from entering. And then I'll also go to this next one. Firms may consider assigning 2 brokers to an open house, one to stand outside and monitor the number of persons admitted to the property, and the other to be inside the property. Boy, this is some serious, we're taking serious this social distancing thing with these guidelines, right, John?
Oh yeah, and it just reminds me how Trader Joe's does it. So you go into Trader Joe's, you have to stand outside and wait your turn until others leave, and then they allow others to enter. So there's certain numbers and things like that. So this monitoring is being done in all professions, and we're no different. So we're allowed to do this with the public as long as we follow these guidelines.
Gotcha. Well, and you know what? As a member of the public, I know I'm getting used to that. So I don't think it's going to be any surprise to anybody who's going to be coming to an open house. That's for sure. Okay. Brokers must enforce the face covering requirement. What does that mean, John?
Well, it means that if they don't have a face covering, they can't come in.
Okay.
And so just like we can't do business with someone who's not wearing their face covering.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we're the ones responsible for making sure that happens. So that's why I say it's a good idea to have some extra face coverings at your open house in case people don't have them and they want to come in.
Fantastic. Okay. Persons waiting to enter the property must social distance and wear face coverings. So even outside the property, this is saying that they've got to wear face coverings and they've got to be 6 feet apart, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, great. Next one, very important. Clean and disinfect all surfaces before and after the open house and have sanitizer placed around the property.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I love this next one. Because contact tracing in the event of an outbreak is important, brokers should maintain contact information for all attending the open house. This is important. This is actually having people require them to sign in using their phone number and their address, perhaps email when they're coming in. And is this saying, John, and maybe this is really where your take comes on it, is that we simply don't allow people to enter the property unless they have filled out that information.
Yeah, that's one of the requirements of having the open house now is that we have that sheet. So we have a sheet all prepared, and that will be available on that site I'm talking about that's being done today. It should be out and ready today. Is that sign up sheet for the open houses? So I got one right here that I can show, but it's just a sign up sheet. So
Okay, good. Yeah. Now there may be people who don't want to put their information on that form.
well, we have to let them know, that the state is mandating this, not us. The state is mandating this, that it is a requirement of entering the open house. And so just as wearing a mask is, so is signing in with that information for coming into the open house.
Sure, great. Okay, please keep in mind that the firm and broker hosting an open house are at risk of criminal and civil liability for failure to fully comply with the required protocols.
Yeah, so the broker and the firm. So that's why I'm trying to make sure that everything is done the correct way so that you, the broker, have the tools to immediately go out, do an open house, and comply.
Absolutely. Now, here's an interesting thing, John, and I think we also need to be very cognizant of the fact, all of us are really excited about having open houses again. We all know that it's a great way to get exposure for the house. It's a great way for us to find sellers, find buyers. All of that's great stuff. But there still are going to be people, we learned this from MegaCamp. The representative from Google said that when they did their survey, full 1/3 of people are still not comfortable either going out in public or going out anywhere where they perceive that there may be some danger. Now, one thing that we forget about, I've heard people say, yeah, well, people probably may not go out to open houses. But the people I think we also really need to be concerned about are the sellers. Are they going to be comfortable having an open house? And what other things above and beyond even the things that we showed would they want to have happen? Am I right in thinking about that, John?
Absolutely, it's a great point. So the seller shouldn't be manipulated or twisted into doing an open house. They have to totally be on board with this, that they want to give their house that exposure, understand that there are going to be some risks for them having strangers come in their home where there is a pandemic going on right now.
Yeah.
Be aware of the precautions we're taking so they can make an informed choice.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this is great news, guys. We get to do open houses again, but we're still in a pandemic. And John and I know we say this every single week. We're still in a pandemic. There are still guidelines that we need to follow. We still need to be the ones who are very vigilant in following these guidelines. And we're going to do that safely and still be able to do the things that we need to get done. All right, John, well, thank you so much for part 2 of our update for today. I sure appreciate it. And I hope you and everybody else out there has a fantastic weekend. Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.